Cloud. All right.
Are you going to start with, you're going to start first?
Sure. Let's see.
I'm here.
Hey, Larry. Oh, you're on mute. I'm going to rename you as Larry.
Okay. It's because it says Denise. Now I'm not muted anymore. You want me to be muted? Because that'd be a good idea.
Yeah, I'm putting a muzzle on you.
Okay. We're going to mute.
Let's see. Who else do we have? Cat should be jumping on here soon.
You can hear. And you can be seen. You can see the there we go. I'm there. You can. I fixed it. You did? Okay, thank you. I fixed it when you came in. Yeah, on the bottom. Oh. Okay.
All right.
Jerry.
Hi, Jerry. Hey, Tony.
Hello.
Looks like we have most everyone here, just waiting on a few more mentors. And I think as far as new officials in second years, I think this is most of them. We'll go ahead and get started. My name is Robert Stratton. I'm the president, so I'm happy to see all these new faces and returning faces, the second years, and some people that are coming back to volleyball. So I'm just happy everyone's here. And at any time, I'm always open for questions during the meeting. You can type it into the chat or send me an email or a text outside, and I'll try and get it, but I won't be checking my phone as often as the chat. At this point, I'm going to pass off to Jeff Firth, who's the instructional chair, and he's going to take it from here.
Hi guys, how y'all? I'm glad you're all able to make it. We're really excited about the group of new officials we have this year. I think this is one of the largest groups we've probably had in the last 5 or 6 years in terms of bringing new officials on board. And we really need that for a lot of reasons. We have a very large geographical area that we cover. We have a lot of schools that we cover. And also a lot of officials are getting a lot older, and we need younger officials in the group to sort of keep the flow going. So one thing I want to do before we get, or as we get started here, since of the new officials, I only know 1 or 2. I want I'm going to call out your name, and I'd like you to share, unmute yourself, and then share a little about why you're doing volleyball, what's your experience, maybe what brought you to officiating. Okay, and we're going to start with the new ones, and then I might have the mentors do the same, of give a little synopsis of their experience as well. So, Michael Alejandrino, are you here?
Yes, hello, I am here.
Okay, Michael, so tell us a little about yourself.
So I'm 18 and I played volleyball at Rio Mesa for 4 years. I played 2 years on varsity, and I really enjoyed playing volleyball because I always loved doing book and understanding the game of volleyball, and it was always interesting. So I'm excited to do volleyball officially when I heard about it.
Okay, great. BJ, Aragon. Is BJ here? Okay.
I don't think BJ's here right now. I'm going to send him a text.
All right, we'll come back. Victor Atherton. Victor, we have a Victor.
Okay.
I'm looking. I don't see a Victor either. Okay. All right. Laura, I know she's here, or Laura Bleiberg.
Hi guys. It's pronounced Lura like Ventura. I played high school, I played club, I played college, and then I coached all of those except for college. And I've wanted to get into officiating, but I've been the athletic coordinator at TO, which is there every night, all night. So now I'm not doing that anymore, and I have the opportunity. So I want to give back and understand why I was always yelling at the refs when I was a coach.
What
Get the other end.
What club were you affiliated with, Laura?
I played for, it was SoCal, and then it turned into Zuma, and then I coached for Zuma, and then I helped start a new club up in Oregon, Rogue Valley Volleyball.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
That's me.
All right. Next, we have Sean Carter. Are you here? No, Sean?
Yes, hello everybody. How are you? Nice to meet you. So I'm actually active duty military, and my daughter's been pretty heavy into the club volleyball scene. So I really wanted to get into coaching because I saw the effect it had on her, how she became personable, and how much fun she has, and she's able to stay in shape and help her keep her grades up. So I wanted to help the community and just keep volleyball going and give kids something to get into. So I appreciate the opportunity, and thank you to everybody.
All right. Good. Glad to have you, Sean. Thank you. Megan Dooley, are you here? No, Megan?
Sorry, I couldn't get the mute off.
Okay, there you go.
I am 28 on to 29. I moved to Southern California about last year. I ran into Marty, and he told me what a great program it was and that I would enjoy doing it. I played when I was in high school, and that's pretty much how it came about. And I'm super excited to learn, and I can't wait until we can start.
Okay. Awesome. Alejandro Durazo. Not here. Okay. Moving on. Alvin. Alvin here.
Yeah, Alvin's here.
Okay.
So I'm 21 years old, and luckily I had the pleasure of Robert being one of my really good friends. So he was just explaining to me, he got me into basketball as well. And he was just explaining to me that volleyball is a lot fun, but not the same heat, I guess. So I'd like to try it out, you know? I like to dip and dabble in different stuff, so it's going to be fun for me.
Great. Have you done any other sports, Alvin? Have you officiated at all?
Yeah, I've only officiated basketball. This last year was my first year officiating, so
Okay.
I started to enjoy it. It's really fun.
Well, that's good. Any officiating experience, no matter what sport, is going to be helpful. It's going to be useful. There are things we can do from other sports that we can bring over to ours. So there are a lot of things there. Janae, I know Janae Hines is not available. She told me she wasn't going to be able to make it today. Daniel Kenny.
Hey there, everybody. Good to see you. Yeah, so I'm been refereeing soccer and lacrosse for over 10 years and lacrosse for 5 at the from the youth level up to the college level. So Steve D'Ambrosia was invited me to join the club, and I've worked with him both in soccer and lacrosse. So he told me what a great deal this is, and I played beach volleyball when I was younger, and have 2 girls that were college soccer players. So I've been around sports my whole life, and really enjoy refereeing, and looking forward to getting into a new sport.
Okay, awesome. Josh, are you here?
Yeah, I'm right here. My name is Josh Warmer. I actually have no experience playing volleyball, but I was drawn to it because my father's actually been officiating for the past few years. For me, I've been an official in lacrosse for 13 years, and I'm looking forward to continuing it. Coming into my 2nd year, and love to kind of continue evolving and getting a little bit better at this. So look forward to it.
Josh, were you a lacrosse player as well? Is that why you moved into
Yes.
lacrosse?
Yes, I played all through high school and college.
Okay. Good. All right. Kaylin, are you here?
Yes, I'm here. I'm Kaylin. Wait, Merrill, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay, yeah, okay. I'm Kaylin Merrill, and I wanted to join because my dad told me how fun reffing is. And I played in high school and middle school, and then I broke my back in high school from playing volleyball, but I still wanted to continue like to be around the sport. So I started reffing, and it really works with my school schedule.
Excellent. Where do you go to school, Kaylin?
I go to Cal State Northridge.
My alma mater. That's where I graduated from.
Oh, nice.
So,
Yeah. Go Matadors.
Yep. All right. After Caitlin, I've got Kevin Munoz. We have two Kevins. So Kevin Munoz.
Hi. I'm 19 and I played volleyball for Rio Mesa during high school, and I didn't really get the opportunity to play during college. So I've kind of just like, I've always loved volleyball. So, and my coach was Coach Holdsworth. I don't know if any of you know him, but he kind of recommended that I should do reffing. And so that's how I got into this whole reffing thing.
So awesome. Okay, good. Where was, hold on, that was Kevin. Brian Nito.
Okay, good evening, everybody. My name is Brian Nito. I'm 19. Played volleyball all 4 years of high school. Been hooked on it ever since I started playing. Really excited to start officiating.
So, okay, cool. Lori, and pronounce your last name for me, please.
Lori Pauls. I started officiating basketball over 10 years ago, and so my ref friends had been mentioning about, you know, doing volleyball numerous times, and so I started officiating private middle school last fall. Really enjoy it. Definitely the people are much nicer than officiating basketball, and I've done all age groups of basketball, about 10 years of high school, and then many years of rec league, including 3 years of doing mainly men's league, but also adult league, some women's games, which have been a joy. But volleyball, I definitely enjoy it and played it very minimally.
Okay, glad to have you on board. Kevin Roman, that's our other Kevin.
I don't think he's here tonight. I think he has work.
Okay.
I'll have him get in touch with you.
That's fine. All right. Ken Scott, but I think Ken said he cannot. He has an audio issue and can't share. Say something if you can, Ken. If not, we'll move on because I think that's what you put in. Yeah, you put in the notes there.
Yeah.
Randy.
Yeah.
Randy, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I've been told by a lot of fellow officials that I should do volleyball. It's my 8th high school sport. I'm only doing volleyball's my 4th now that I do per year. So anyway, I've been officiating over 30 years high school sports.
Okay, well, glad to have you over in volleyball. Let's see, Scott Zamora. Scott here?
Yeah, he's here. Looks like he's on his camera's off, but he's in on his iPhone.
Okay. Oh, we'll move on if Scott can get on and tell us a little later. Peter Vapor.
Good evening, everyone. Peter Vapor. I've been officiating for about 12 years now. When I was active duty military, mostly on base. I've been officiating basketball with Channel Coast for about 3 years now. Ran into Robert and he invited me to officiate volleyball now. I also do middle school volleyball and again on base. And I just want to get officially trained now by Channel Coast. So that's why I'm joining.
Okay, good. All right, I know Dave Wilcox is in Chicago. He's not able to make it. He had to take his daughter to drop her off at college. Dave is up in Goleta area. He's done basketball and soccer as well, so he's moving over to volleyball. I recruited him. Caleb, I don't know if Caleb's on. That's his son. Caleb may not be available. I didn't see him on here. So, okay, so we'll move on. All right, that's all the new officials. Again, my name is Jeff. First, I've been officiating for over 30 years. I have done volleyball, or excuse me, I've done basketball and football as well at different points in my career, but now I am strictly doing volleyball. I've been a club director for a club we ran up here in Santa Maria. I'm a teacher in Santa Barbara. So I am looking forward to moving around and hopefully get to see you guys work at different points during the season. With that, it's a good transition in that we are putting into place a mentor program. So that's why all the new officials, you're seeing all these older guys hanging around, because they are going to be the mentors. And I've asked the mentors to sit in on our first and second year meetings, because what I want is I want them listening so that they're hearing the same thing that I'm telling you that they're hearing, so that when they're working with you on the court, it's kind of one, hopefully we're talking in one voice. Not to say I can guarantee you this, it happens with everyone. Robert can attest to this. You're gonna work with an official who's gonna tell you or instruct you one thing. The next, 2 days later, you might work with an official who is possibly going to tell you something else that contradicts what you were just told. It's kind of part of the officiating community. We're trying to work on this, and that's part of our mentorship program, is that we're, like I said, we're trying to approach this as much as we can with only one voice or one point. But I can guarantee it's not going to always be that way. You are going to get conflicting information. You're going to have to either go to your mentor, go to myself, go to a board member if it's really an issue of what should I do, and get a answer from one of us as to, should I do it this way? Should I do it that way? And there's no reason to think that there's only one proper way. There are certain areas where there is some leeway as to how you approach that situation or what you do in that situation. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce the mentors and tell you who is going to be your mentee. So the new officials, you'll find out who your mentee is, and the mentor can say a quick hello, and if they want to put in anything. As I say, almost all of our mentors are pretty much C1s, and they're been doing volleyball for several years. So quick here. Michael, I don't have anybody listed for you yet. I think it's going to be Kathy, who I don't think is on. Robert, is Kathy on here? Yeah, I think you're going to be having Kathy, and she's probably got called into work. Mike Lermier, you're going to be with BJ Aragon. So Mike, if you want to say something.
Yeah, hey everybody. I'm obviously Josh's dad. I've been refereeing close to 15 years in lacrosse, and I've also done basketball, football, and that. But I basically now have focused in on 3 sports, which is lacrosse, volleyball, and track and field. For the new people, I think it's a great sport, and there's a lot to learn, but you have good people to teach you. Jeff has a lot of experience, and I think if you follow his lead, he'll really help you. So I wish you all the best, and welcome to our organization.
And Mike, by the way, is one of our board members as well. So, all right. Next is probably the official who's been officiating the longest of any of us, I believe. That would be Mr. Burns, Jerry Burns. He has 2 mentees. He's working with Victor Atherton, and he is also working with Kevin Roman. We've assigned him 2, although Kevin Roman, also Robert, is going to help too. So Jerry and Robert are both going to kind of assist with Kevin or work with Kevin at different times. But Jerry, you're up if you want to say something.
Yes, I'm Jerry Burns. I've been repping volleyball for over 40 years. I used to be baseball and softball for 27 years. Retired from those sports. Have fun. This is a blast. We'll meet some very nice people, and let's just move along.
Okay, great. All right, next, for Lura, we have, we're actually having 2 officials also work with you. Kathy Blaze is going to work with you at times, and so is Steve D'Ambrosio. So we know Kathy's not here, so Steve, if you want to say a quick something. Steve with us?
No, Steve's not on.
Okay, sorry. All right, Dave Sakata, you're next. You're working with Sean Carter. Unmute yourself, Dave. There you go. Try now, Dave. See if we can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, you're good.
I'm Dave Sakata. I've been with Channel Coast for 10 or 11 years now. Previously did about 30 years of softball and baseball. And I understand my mentee is Sean Carter.
Correct.
Hi, Sean.
All right. Marty, you have Megan. You're working with Megan Dooley. And also Randy, you're working with Randy Wellick. I believe that's how you, Randy. If I butchered your name, I'm sorry. So that's you, Marty. I don't know. Marty, are you available?
I'm here.
All right.
So this is my 30th season with volleyball for high school. I've also done baseball and softball at the high school level, as well as I've done collegiate basketball and volleyball. Welcome to Randy. I know Randy from basketball and from softball, and welcome to Megan. I'm hoping that you enjoy officiating as much as most of us do.
Okay, great. Thank you, Marty. Larry Coleman, you're going to be with Alejandro Durazo.
Hi, I'm Larry Coleman, and I've been officiating for a while, but I started with organized volleyball, 6-person volleyball in 1966. I won't tell you how old I was then. Actually, it was illegal to block over the net. So for the first year officials who are not volleyball players, you're going to find out a lot about that in the future. Anyway, looking forward, and if anybody has any questions, my phone number and email are available to anybody. Thanks.
Okay, thanks, Larry.
Jeff, I'm going to interrupt you really quickly for 2 reasons. One, I'm going to introduce Ken Scott, who's a new official. He doesn't have a camera or microphone on his computer, but longtime basketball official. He's a board member for Channel Coast basketball, and he's just really looking forward to getting back in volleyball. And then I'm also going to unmute Steve Burkhart. I'm trying to find him. Where is he? Steve, where are you? And I'm also going to introduce one of our boys assigner, Tony Chan. He's a world-class referee, international beach. He can talk more to his accolades than I can, but he's too humble to do it.
I was going to have Tony say a few words at the end here. Tony, I did not. So since we introduced Tony, why don't you tell us a little something?
Hi, my name is Tony Chan. I've been working with Channel Coast since 1993. I'm one of 6 international beach referees in the United States, and as well as refereeing in college. And I also assign collegiate sand for USC, UCLA, and Cal State Bakersfield. I'm part of the USA Volleyball Beach Commission training team. In addition to helping with instruction last year, doing instruction this year, doing assigning. So, if you have any questions, I'm more than willing to help out and answer anything that you guys have. Look forward to seeing all of you work at some point, hopefully this year. Again, welcome. And if you guys have any questions, let me know.
Tony's a really busy guy, so we did not assign him a mentee, but if any of you do have the opportunity to work with him, soak in everything you can. He's really knowledgeable about volleyball, as you can probably tell. All right, sorry, where was I? Steve, is Mary Ann on? I didn't see Mary Ann. Mary Ann's working.
I'm here.
Oh, okay. Mary Ann, you're working with Josh.
Yes. Hi, my name is Mary Ann. I've been with the unit for 15 years. I started off in San Fernando unit before I came over here. I've done volleyball on and off for 24 years. I do club all year round. So if any of you ever played club, and all my little real guys, you probably know me from as one of your reps, because I probably have done you your whole high school years. So I love the sport. I play the sport. I enjoy working with new officials and making you a better official, and that's my goal.
Okay. Mary Ann is also our secretary treasurer. Is that correct? You're secretary and treasurer, or just treasurer, Mary Ann?
I'm treasurer.
Okay, just treasurer. So she handles all the money, obviously. So she's also on the board and a voting board member. All right, Kevin, I told you, Robert, you're going to work with Ken Scott. You guys, Robert's already kind of talked about himself, I think, unless you want to add anything, Robert.
This is going to be my 4th year of officiating for both basketball and volleyball, and I'm just really excited to learn more each year.
Okay. Jim, I think I missed Jim. Did I call on Jim? Newens? Jim not here?
He's here.
Okay. Jim, you're with Alvin. Alvin is going to be your mentee.
Or at least Jim was here.
Okay. Maybe he's shy. Mike Vernardi? Is Mike here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. You're going to be with Scott Zamora, Mike. I don't think Scott was on, right?
Okay. Well, he is great. Little background, over 40 years in baseball and softball, high school, college level. My 10th year, I think, in volleyball. Yeah, I'm really enjoying it.
Okay. Great. Jack, is Jack on? Jack Richards?
No, he's not here right now.
All right, Jack is our past president. He's also on the board. He's going to be working with Peter Vapor. Then Dave and Caleb Wilcox, who are both, like I said, both in Goleta, I'm going to be their mentor. So, all right. So I think, did I miss anybody?
Steve D'Ambrosio is, he can't unmute himself right now, but I think, Mary Ann, can you speak on Steve for a little bit? Because I haven't worked with him as much.
Oh, on Steve D'Ambrose?
Yeah.
Steve's been with our units, I think, going on 4, maybe 5 years. He is doing club. He plays beach volleyball. His daughter was in the sport, and that's how he got into it. Other than that, it's just the love of the game and wants to give back.
All right, great. All right, so what I am going
Jeff?
to do, yes.
Sorry, Dan Kenny, I didn't hear if I had a mentor.
Sorry, and Roy, I missed Roy too. Roy, are you on here?
Yeah, I'm on.
Go ahead, Roy. Hang on, I'll pull up who you're with. Go ahead and talk for a minute. Tell us about yourself.
I am with Dan Kenny.
Oh, okay.
At least that's what you told me earlier in the week.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Hello, everybody. I've been with volleyball, and I'm a volleyball only guy, so I've been going with volleyball for probably about 2 decades almost, at all the different levels. I'm just happy to be part of all of this, and I want to encourage each of you that are new to
just stick with the game, enjoy the game. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun, and I think you'll enjoy the time. And if I can be of any help, I'm more than happy to help you.
So Dan, you're with Roy, you got that. And then also Roy was one of our past instructional chairs. So Roy also has a ton of knowledge. He works a lot of different, like you said, he works a lot of different levels. He's also a crossover official. So he's a good one to work with. And Ron King, is Ron on here? No, Ron. Brian Nito, Brian, you're working with Ron. He's going to be your mentor. Kevin Munoz, you're working with Tim Mays. Is Tim on? Yeah. Okay. I think, is there any mentee, any new official who I did not assign other than
Me. Lori Pauls. Lori Pauls does not have a mentor.
Lori, I have you. Hang on. Lori, you're with Marianne.
Marianne.
Marianne has two. That's why I'm sorry I missed. So Marianne, you have Marianne as well. All right.
Wait, I have a question.
Yes.
Am I with anyone, or is that
Who's
not
that?
count?
Is that
Kaylin.
Kayla.
Kaylin Merrill.
Kaylin Merrill. Yeah. Hang on a sec. Kaylin, you're with Kathy Blaze. Sorry, Kathy's not here.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Kathy's going to be your mentor.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thanks. I'm jumping between my computer screen and there, so that's why I might have missed one or two people.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Okay. All right. So the reason, again, the mentees are here. Those that have missed, we are recording these meetings. So for people who cannot make it, the recordings are available that you can go back and see what we talked about, which is really good. It's better than what, in some respects, this is better than what we've been doing because we don't have the geographical issues of people, coming from Santa Barbara down to Thousand Oaks for a meeting, or vice versa. When we go up to Ventura, you don't have to come from, Calabasas or Simi Valley to make a meeting in Ventura. So in some respects, the Zoom is proving beneficial, and I think it's going to be something we might keep in future years, is that do a lot of our Zoom meetings and then have one or two in-person meetings where we get to meet everybody, and then maybe make our last meeting more of a meeting plus a social gathering so we can get to know each other a little more face to face. But this year is what it is, so we'll see what it brings. Okay. All right. Couple of things for the new guys. Right now, knowing the rules is probably about 20 to 30% of what you should be focusing on. What to be a good official, it's really knowing the mechanics, knowing where you should be focusing, things you should be looking for. All of those things, those are the things that take time and a little bit of experience. By putting the mentors with you guys, they're going to hopefully help you along with those aspects of officiating, and that will bring it along a little faster. Those of you who have a lot of volleyball experience, that is definitely going to help you, especially when we get into things like rotation and illegal attacks, back row play, things like that. Those that have played the game or know the game really well, those people, it really helps in that respect. Those of you that come from other sports, what I found myself, I started in basketball was my first sport. Coming over it just helped me sort of with my court presence and my dealing with coaches, dealing with players. Those things are brought over from other sports. Those are the transferable skills that come with you. So what I'd like to do now, I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to play a video that talks about professionalism for officials. So.
I know how much more respect and convoluted work. And that mattered a lot, to be honest with you, as I made this decision.
All right. And Everybody see that? I'm hearing somebody's mic is on, I think. Make sure everybody's muted, please. Thank you.
Professionalism journey with the Southern California Volleyball Officials Association. Before beginning this module, let's start off with some expectation management. By the end of this presentation, you will not be any more of a professional than you were when you sat down. What we hope to impart is some fundamental knowledge that you can use in both your personal and professional lives that will make you a better individual, as well as strengthen the volleyball community of which you're a part. As you start, please try to keep your mind open and try to take something away from this discussion that will assist you in moving to the next level in your development as an individual and as a referee. With that being said, the second part of your professionalism journey begins with some thought-provoking questions. What does professionalism mean? Is it the same for everyone? And should it be? Why is it important? And what does it look like? We hope to provide you with some concepts that help you answer these questions. So let's start off by discussing what professionalism is and what it's not. Is there a recipe for professionalism? We suggest that there is. It's 1 part golden rule, do unto others as you would have them do unto you, and 1 part common sense, which is to use your knowledge and experience to make a fair and equitable decision for all parties. When you combine the two, you get professionalism. And here's another important concept. We should all agree that ethical conduct is the minimum standard required of professionalism. But professionalism, by its nature, is a higher standard than is expected of ethical conduct. Professional conduct varies between different professions, but there are certain elements of professionalism that are universal, regardless of the nature of the profession. The first element of professionalism is civility. One definition of civility is the act of showing regard for others, and another is personal habits and attitudes that are conducive to social harmony. Remember that as officials, you are not in competition with each other. Courtesy, kindness, and respect are fundamental and need to be paramount in your dealing with other referees. Negative thoughts and actions have become too commonplace in our world. Instead, you need to subscribe to the notion that there is a type of social behavior that is acceptable within our or any community. Another element is honesty and integrity. What you say and what you do are paramount to your success, both as an individual and as a referee. Once peers, coaches, and players know they can trust you, your chances for success are greatly increased. Your words and actions need to be your bond. The third element is excellence in service. Haven't you noticed that a positive attitude and genuine smile go a long way? The manner in which you serve your customers, coaches, players, parents, and especially each other, greatly impacts your success. And last, but certainly not least, there is community service. You may not remember all of your more successful moments as a referee, but you will remember the time that you have given to others. You become a better referee if you're backed by a strong community, and a strong community results from the time and talents of its members. So what does professionalism look like for you as a referee? Your appearance on the court before the match is not your only opportunity to make a first impression. Many times, those first impressions are formed before you arrive courtside. The coaches, players, and parents, as well as your peers, begin sizing you up well before your arrival. Don't blow your opportunity to make a good first impression before you even arrive courtside. Those private conversations you thought you were having half a gym away, or while you were walking with your partner to your court, are not private. Everyone is monitoring your actions as well as your conversations. Your on-time appearance speaks volumes of your attitude toward your role as a referee, as well as the state of your uniform and the equipment you carry with you. And your approach to the officiating crew and the coaches and players is always scrutinized by all who are at the match. What does professionalism look like during the match? The rules of the sport of volleyball form the foundation for what all referees do on the court. Building on that foundation by having a strong knowledge and proper applications of the rules is up to you. You must respect the sport, its participants, and the spectators, even at those times when you feel you aren't being respected. And you must respect the officiating profession and those who are a part of it. That means being a team player, communicating well with the crew, being supportive of others' decisions, and helping the officiating team succeed on the court. Being impartial is paramount before, during, and after the match. There is no such thing as a make-up call. Don't penalize the teams for your mistake. That only undermines your credibility. When you make a mistake, don't dwell on it because there's not much you can do to correct it after the fact. You need to move on and try your best to not let it happen again. Don't confuse being approachable with socializing. Regardless of what you're discussing, it's the appearance that counts. Keep conversations short, passing along only match-critical information. Long conversations can be misconstrued as socialization, regardless of the topic. Finally, what does professionalism look like after the match? The player referees and line judges you work with are the future of volleyball. Your words and actions must always bring respect to your profession. Remember, you are not only representing yourself as a referee, you're representing a cadre of volleyball referees across the country. You need to show your officiating team what we're all about, and it starts by thanking them for the job they did. And what about the debrief with your partner? You never can tell who's listening. So if you or your partner is not available immediately after the match, make arrangements to talk later. Provide positive feedback, but more importantly, be receptive to feedback. There's always something to be learned. When it comes to calling a match, we're all in the same boat out there. You won't always agree with another referee's decisions or method of handling things, but that never gives you the right to speak negatively of them. It goes back to respect. So do you have what it takes? You should always follow the golden rule and use common sense. Subscribe to all 4 elements of professionalism: civility, honesty, integrity, excellence in service, and community service. And strive to keep professionalism at the front of your mind. This not only makes you a better, more respected volleyball referee, it just might make you a better person.
All right. Okay. All right, so I wanted to give you that on professionalism, and I'm going to add a few things to this. One, the volleyball community, almost the officiating community, it's a very small community. We all know that you are going to know people who are coaches, who are fans, who are players. So one of the most important things I feel is that you have to, when you come into a gym, you have to act professional and remain neutral. So even though somebody sitting on the bench might be your best friend, it's not a time that you should go over and sit down and start chatting or have a conversation, because that looks bad to the other side, to the other team. The other coach is already thinking, uh-oh, that's his buddy, we're in trouble for the night. So I really want to stress that when you come to the gym, which you need to be there, arrive about 40 minutes ahead, be out on the court 30 minutes ahead with your partner, and immediately start to do your job and look professional. Go to your table, take care of things, those things. And we're going to go over all of the requirements of what you need to do when you arrive on the court at a different time. but just, I really want you to be sure that you get there and you act professionally, like they said in there. Keep your conversations with people to a minimum, other than your partner, and then move on and do the requirements of, or the pregame requirements of the job. You want to look professional. That's where we're starting. I hope everybody knows we have all moved to the blue shirts. Okay. For those of you, I'm sure a lot of you don't have the blue shirts. We've usually put an order in, and I'm going to defer this later to Kathy or Mary Ann, that normally get an order together so we can get a better price on the officiating shirts, and we'll get those to you. Luckily right now we have some time, so that's not that. We're wearing navy blue socks, white shoes, completely white as possible. So you don't want a lot of logos or markings on them. You want to try and get all white if you can, as close as you can. White socks, blue or a black belt is our uniform. There's Robert. He's got his shirt there, and it's got the new. Robert, show the new signia on the side. I know you all might remember, we used to use a white shirt that just said volleyball certified. This is the new one we use here in California. It's the same as all the colleges use. So it's a very comfortable shirt. I like using it. And we are simply going with blue. The colleges sometimes have choices. You can go blue, gray, or white with that new insignia. So that's what we look like. With COVID coming on, where there are going to be some issues and changes, we know. We're figuring out what the whistle situation is going to be. There could be call for an electronic whistle, which is a handheld whistle you would do with your hand. But we're also looking at the possibilities of a whistle under a mask. So again, this is all new. We have not gotten specific instructions from CIF or NFHS on exactly what the new procedures are going to be, but we'll get those to you later in the season when we have those. What's really important is to start when you get there, make sure you are having a pregame with your official. With you being a new official, having a pregame is going to be one of the most important things you do during when you get to the gym. You want to talk with your official about what they expect of you. You want to be honest with them and tell them where you might need help, where you might want them to help you, and where you maybe don't want them to help you. I've worked with officials in the past who I sometimes feel that if I give them too much information as the second official, either the down or usually when I'm the down official and they're the up official, it kind of confuses them and puts them off their game. So if that's something that doesn't work for you, where you don't want your down official giving you signals during the game, be honest with them and tell them that, and then that's something that you would do in post-match. In your post-game is then go through and start to talk about. One thing I like to do with new officials, I try not to overwhelm them with too many things. I try and pick one or two things for them to work on at their next match. So I'm not going to come in and tell you, oh, you need to do this, 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 and give you a whole laundry list of things. I'm going to pick probably the two most important if I was to work with you or observe you and say, these are the things that you need to work on next time. Those are also good talking points with your mentor, is that those are good things to bring back to your mentor and say, okay, this is what was going on. What was I supposed to do? Et cetera, et cetera. Post game. When you do a post game, you should be doing a post game as much as you can. I do know that we all have busy lives. I know that some people have to get back to kids, have to get back home, all sorts of things. But try and get at least a 5-minute post game in. Make sure you're doing that out of earshot of fans, coaches, other people. You want to have a post game in a situation where you and your other official can talk honestly about things that happened, and so it's not going to be picked up by other ears. So that might mean you might have to leave the gym. A lot of times we'll do a post game sitting out by our car. We go out into the parking lot and we'll sit and do a post game there. I've done post games where we've just gone and then I've just called my official and we've talked about things over the phone at the conclusion of the match. Okay, so And again, try and pick if you have issues or things you're not understanding, that's a good time at the post game to say, hey, what should I have done? I didn't understand this. Also ask, why did you make that particular call? If it's something you didn't understand or think to yourself, well, I wouldn't have done that, but you can ask those sorts of questions in the post game. All right. We have, I don't know if everyone was in our first general meeting. I did go over new rules and I went over California modifications. So California has several modifications that only we do, that the rest of the nation does not do. One of which might be, the important one might be, we do not, as R2s, we do not carry lineup cards and we do not carry red and yellow cards. So as an R2, you don't have those items in your pocket. Usually if you have your red and yellow card in your pocket because you're going to be the up official next, or you were, we just don't pull them out. We don't use them. We communicate those sanctions differently in California, and we'll get into that at a later time. Uniform is obviously different than most of the rest of the country. They're still using the old style, a lot of old style white shirts, and several will have their area patches on them. We've gone with the college uniform. All right, these are going to be extremely important to you as new officials. This is your rule book and your case book and officials manual. This, I think, by going in, and you should be really going through the officials manual, and it will talk about what your duties are pregame, what you should be doing as a R2, what things you should be doing as an R1. So this is what I want you to use sort of as your Bible in terms of when going to this and getting into this book and reading all those things. And then I've also asked the mentors that this is sort of what I want them to go by too. So it gives us at least one focal point of things to do. I mean, there are things, and those of us that work college, there are different mechanics for college than there are for high school. So we'll try and keep to the high school as much as we possibly can as well. So some of that will fall on the mentor's responsibility to be giving you the high school information more so than the college. I think the most important rule in this is going to be Rule 5. And one of our meetings is basically, one of our new official meetings is going to be basically all on Rule 5, and Rule 5 talks about what your responsibilities are, where you should, as an official, responsibilities and positions. So it talks about both the R1 position and the R2 position, what each of you is responsible for as a game is going on. Okay, it includes the table, it includes the lines people, includes all of that. Okay, so get into that really well. I've gotten a few people who have finished their study guide. The study guide is designed to get you into the books. The rule as you go through the questions, the rule reference is right there, and it's similar to basketball and football, just like I'm sure a lot of you know in other sports. The rule reference is right there for you. So what it's designed to do, it's not trying to trick you in any way. It's directing you to where you need to go to find the answer to that particular question, okay, that they're giving you. Have people been getting into their study guides? Are there any questions about the study guide?
The one question I have is, when does it close?
The study guide will close, I believe, the middle of September. Middle or end of September, I can't remember at the moment. But I do know the classification exam, which we need to take you need to pass with a score of 80%. That will open mid-September and go to, no, I'm sorry, it will open mid-October and go till the beginning of November. So you'll have about a 2-week window. You will have opportunity, if you do not pass the the classification exam on your first attempt, you will have other tries to pass it. So if you don't pass it on the first one, don't worry about it. We'll give you other opportunities to go through and pass those. Again, as I mentioned earlier, to me, the rules right now should be 20 to 30% of what you're focusing on or what you should be worried about. Really, the mechanics, positioning, responsibilities should be the other 70%, and professionalism along with that. So, all right. Are there any questions out there? Are there any questions out there then that relates to anything we've talked about here, or anything we haven't talked about that you would like to bring up? Right, group. All right. To me, you are welcome to contact me at any time with any questions. You can email me, you can text me, you can phone me. If I don't, as everyone, I'm sure, we're all getting a lot of scam calls. So if for some reason I don't recognize your number and I don't pick up, please leave a message and I will get back to you as quickly as I can about that. You do know the season is scheduled to start, I believe, December 9th. Does that sound right, Robert?
Boys season opens on December 12th. Girls season opens on December 19th, and they're staggered 1 week apart for playoff purposes. So then that boys playoffs start before, and then girls, or the third round of boys playoffs is the first round of girls. So then that there's not a million games happening at the same time. And there will be scrimmage opportunities in early December.
And scrimmages and preseason tournaments will be one of the places for you guys to start to really get a good foundation, and hopefully we'll be able to have your mentor there at your scrimmage so that they can work with you at the scrimmage. And I will be there as well. If we have any freshman tournaments during the year, we always like to use the freshman tournaments as training grounds. So that's an opportunity where you can be working and get paid for some training, because you'll be working the freshmen, but somebody will be sort of next to you, helping guide you along, and telling you things as we go. Those are always really beneficial. Scheduling for this year could be very interesting. We do not know exactly what is going to be happening in terms of gym usage. A lot of talk is going around now about all levels, both boys and girls, being played in the same gym. The way that might look is that you would do sort of tournament style. You would have two courts going where boys and girls freshmen would each be going simultaneously. Then boys and girls JV would each be going simultaneously. And then we would go to one main court for the girls varsity, followed by the boys varsity. So,
hey, Jeff.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I just have a question. Is that a realistic possibility?
It is. Robert can answer a little bit of that. He's been in a few of the league meetings, and that's what they're talking about. Another scenario would be a basketball, like how basketball is run, where boys are at one gym while girls are at another gym on the same day. So that's another possibility, but we just don't know. Go ahead, Laura.
And actually, I was just wondering logistically, like if there's two courts going, like a tournament, we go and we ref at tournaments, two courts in a gym. There's not going to be a ref stand for both courts, that kind of stuff.
There could be a lot of gyms. A lot of gyms do. So maybe not, but possibly yes.
Some would and some wouldn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
So San Marcos, when we ref at San Marcos, I know we do that. We have two stands.
Yeah.
Most of the big schools, most of the larger schools will have two stands going. So it's the smaller schools that we might run into those issues of where you have to referee from the ground. And if that's what we have to do, we have to do. So right now, the scenario in our unit is freshman games are solo, are one man, and then JV and varsity have been two man. We're going to see where all of that falls out. I don't want to give an answer as to how that's going to work right now, because we just don't know. Okay.
Marianne just pointed out that they're thinking of using a small or large gym. I can speak on the fact that for scheduling, there's going to be a lot of quadruple headers, since it's not required to have 2 officials on a JV match, but it's preferred. But varsity, it's almost always required to have 2 officials on that match. So for situations where the boys and girls are going to be playing on the same night in the same gym, they might have 2 courts going at the same time, and then they'll set up the game court for girls and boys varsity. But that's the situation that a lot of schools are looking at. And I also forgot to mention, I'm the head boys coach at Nordhoff, so I'm involved a lot with scheduling for that. So we're working out all the logistics, and it's going to be different based on each school, because some schools have 2 gyms, some schools have 2 ref stands, but a lot of schools are very limited. So every school is going to look different.
We do have several. We have Tim Mays is also a coach as well. So he's one of those individuals like Robert who's wearing a lot of hats. He's coaching, he's reffing. They're both board members. Robert's obviously president, so they're doing a lot of stuff. Do we have anybody else, Robert, who's also a coach as well as an official? Is that Mr. Chan raising his hand? So he's not busy enough, so he's adding coaching to his calendar now. So
yeah, and really quick, I want to share what the e-whistle looks like, because Tony Tony has been lucky enough to be one of the officials that has officiated since the start of the pandemic. And here's a picture of him on the AVP, since the AVP, the Pro Beach Volleyball Tour, they did play 3 consecutive weekends. He's wearing a mask. There's his whistle in his hand, his e-whistle, and it's obviously the athletes aren't wearing masks, but that's not something that he's gonna crucify them for. But I'm also gonna share the video of some play that was happening and of him officiating. Some of the best volleyball players in the world, actually. So
there's that line shot. Well handled by Chase. You're hearing the sounds of whistles. You notice the referees have masks on. No, they do not have whistles underneath their masks. They have handheld whistles that now sound like regular wooden ball whistles. Yeah, that's right. Metal with a wooden ball inside usually.
I wish I had those back in club ball.
Yeah, those are the thing. They sound great now. Used to be kind of a weird sound. Lots to get used to for the referee, though, to press that button. It's a whole new muscular pattern. Losing my mind here in the middle of the day, Cam.
I don't know if the sun's affecting them down there or up here in the booth. My goodness.
I think you're.
But that's what it looks like. I'm sure Tony can talk about the pattern or the difference between using a manual whistle and an e-whistle and the differences that those have. But that's the direction that indoor is looking at going for the future, or just for during the pandemic when volleyball is happening.
I got a question for you on the e-whistle.
Go ahead, Mike.
Something that we're going to have to purchase now? Is it available if needed?
They are available. I know a lot of the vendors that were short on them are now able to get them. Places like Roof Sportswear, Verna is able to get them.
Amazon.
You can try and find them on Amazon, but they're really price gouging on Amazon. I know that like Walmart used to sell them as well, walmart.com.
A rough idea of the cost?
They're really only about $20 to $25 ordinarily.
Okay.
But again, if you go on some of the, I've seen on Amazon, they're going upwards of $70 something, which is ridiculous. But again, it's supply and demand. right now we probably won't be getting in the gyms until December, you could probably go ahead and order from like Roof Sportswear and Walmart.com, and even some of the sites. Fox 40, Fox sells them directly, as well as we used on the AVP tour. The ones you saw in the video were by a company called Windsor, WINDSOR. They have 3 different tones on them, so it's kind of a nice idea to have if you get the whistles that have 3 tones rather than just a single tone, in case there's more than one whistle in the gym. Quite honestly, they are not super loud. The AVP events that we did, we had no fans, so it was really just us, the players on the court. But there wasn't fans in the gym. So it'll be real interesting to see when we get the chance to test it with fans in the gym, how well the players will react to the whistle. It does sound different than a whistle, so they may react differently, hopefully, when you press the button to blow the whistle. And you may also have to press it more than once to get their attention if they don't stop. And you may have to long press it, especially as an R2, if you're calling a net, having a long press to really get their attention. So,
Tony, how is the timing worked? Have you found that your timing is a little different using the handheld whistle for making calls than they are with a traditional whistle?
yes, generally, because we're also used to blowing a whistle, so the distance between your brain and your mouth is a lot shorter than your brain and your hand. So I did find myself, especially when we first started using them in week 1, where something would happen and I would go and then realize, oh, I gotta press the button. So after a little bit of practice, you get used to realizing, okay, the button's what's gonna make the noise. So it's just a little more practice. We did tell a lot of the players, especially in the first week, that we were using e-whistles for the first time, and so sometimes it might be a little late. It might be a little slower than what they're used to in terms of a regular whistle, and they all adjusted and were fine with it. Some didn't even realize we were using electronic whistles after a while. They thought we were actually whistling under the mask, which wouldn't have been comfortable. I actually don't recommend it, using a whistle under a mask. I know that that's an option, and there are some places, I know Fox 40 is actually selling a whistle mask, and also what we've been labeling it as a whistle condom, where it just covers the whistle itself, the exhaust ports of the whistle. Honestly, personally, putting a whistle under a mask, that mask, by the time you finish a match or a series of matches, that mask is going to get soaked with spit, whether you want to do that or not. That's part of why the safety reason of not using a whistle is because when you blow a whistle, it does spray. And so if you have a mask over the top, that mask is going to be pretty disgusting by the time you finish a match. So personally, I think the e-whistle is a better choice, rather over a mask, over a whistle.
All right, question on that. The e-whistle, is any of this tied into the PA systems that the college and high schools have? Or is it just the handheld making that noise?
It's just the handheld making the noise. We did, when we were doing AVP, since we were live on Amazon a lot, they did put mics on our collars, but what they found was that if we had the whistle and it was pointing at a mic, it was actually too loud. So they actually had us point the microphones away from where the microphones were. If you saw in the video, you'll notice I was holding it sideways away from the court because there were microphones on the pole in front of me. So I was holding it, so I was pointing it towards the end lines rather than straight out on the court. They do not, at this point that I'm aware of, have a system that allows you to hook up the PA to the whistle. I did think about using like a lavalier mic and taping it to the whistle itself, jerry-rigging it. But at this point, I'm not aware of any professional systems that are using that. And I certainly don't think that at the high school level, they're going to have anything like that for you.
All right, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
One question I do have about the whistles.
Mm-hmm.
I know just for the purpose of professionalism and everything, we keep a pretty standard uniform colors of whistles, everything like that. I went to Fox 40's website as we were talking about it just to kind of see. and the one that it looked like you were using was black, but I found the same model except they only offered in red. And if you want to get something black, it's a completely different whistle, but it's like $40 at that point. Are we going to go with like a standard color we need to be getting, things like that for these electric whistles?
I think at this point there's a standard color for e-whistles because they do come there. You know, the Fox 40s, I've seen the little mini Fox 40 comes in black. I don't recommend that one. It's not very loud. And battery wise, it's kind of harder because it uses, as I recall, it uses watch batteries. So if that thing dies on you while you're in the stand, you've got to unscrew it and put all these little watch batteries in it. The bigger Fox 40s that do tritone uses a 9-volt battery, a single 9-volt, which those I think are in orangish color right now. The Windsor ones that we were using were the gray ones that you saw. Yeah, there you go, Josh. The gray ones that you saw us using were by Windsor, and they actually handled I think it was AA batteries. So we always kept spare batteries in our pockets because it was easy enough. You know, if it died in between a rally or something, you could swap it out real quick. Just say, hey, hold on a second, I got to switch the batteries out. I will recommend that when you do have an e-whistle and you're using it, make sure you have spare batteries. Test it before you get on the stand, because we actually did have that issue. We had one official that was running across to get on the stand, went to blow the whistle to bring the players on the court, and the whistle was dead. So kind of had to go, oh, wait, stall, and go replace the batteries. So you want to make sure that you're testing it. The e-whistle, since they do come in a lot of colors, it's going to be hard to standardize on it. I don't see anybody saying we need, you need to get a certain color whistle. I think it's going to be a personal preference. So,
Josh, yeah, I actually have 2 whistles from the club. The girls don't like. We would use the electronic whistles because the girls preferred that rather than having to share a whistle in the club situation. So I have 2 that are red, and I can tell you, I'm not going to go out and buy another one. I'm going to use the ones that I have already, which are the red Fox ones. So that's what I'm going to be using. So I don't think anybody's going to require you to have a specific color. And in whistles, in regular with traditional whistles, we have asked or we've encouraged you to use a certain color since those are much more economical, but I don't think it has ever been a requirement that you had to have a certain color whistle. So we've offered options or told you, what we'd like to see, but we've never done anything where it had to be that way.
Yeah. The only standardization I've heard about so far has been possibility of mask color. If we're using e-whistles, the mask might be, they may say navy, they may say black, they may say white. I don't know yet, haven't heard a definition. Ideally, we'd like for, the mask colors to match between officials, but again, since it's one of those things that it technically is not part of the uniform, I don't know if they're going to mandate that we have a certain color. They may say no logos. So if you're looking at buying masks right now, I would obviously look at getting masks that don't have a logo on it. Let's see, AVP mask. This was the AVP mask that we had to use. You'll notice it has a little logo on it. I didn't like this mask, but this probably won't be okay. You need to have an actual just, black, flat out black mask. There's nothing on it. And I can recommend some places that have masks if you guys need it. But and then lanyards, I don't know if they were gonna, Jeff, I don't know if we standardize on that. I know Channel Coast, we actually gave them out for a while.
Right, we gave out blue lanyards to everybody. Yeah. So, I anticipate we'll probably be kind of lax on that at the moment because your lanyard size, if you want a different size with the whistle, because you're going to attach the loop of the whistle, which is designed to go around your wrist. You're going to attach that probably to your lanyard. So based on that, you might want to get a different lanyard size so it hangs around your belt level in the proper position. So
right. I actually managed to take the standard Fox 40 whistle lanyard, and I actually took the wrist lanyard that came on the whistle itself, and I actually connected them together. to create the length so it hung in the same spot all the time.
And that is what we're recommending, is that you do hang it around your neck so that your hands, so that you can switch hands, so that you're not always passing the whistle from hand to hand as you're trying to do your mechanics. And again, this is all a new situation. It's all evolving. We're waiting on word from Southern California and CIF as to what they want us to do in terms of masks, in terms of whistles, in terms of a lot of other things. They're talking about not switching benches this year, that teams will stay on their same side the entire match. So we're not passing each other, and we're not sharing space, so that the seats that we're just sat on are not going to be switched, and the other team is going to go there. So I probably, that will happen. But again, I will be going to a meeting in October that is going to address all of this. So towards the end of our season, or our instructional season, I hopefully will have at our final meeting, I will have answers to a lot of these questions about what is going to be different and how we're going to run the season. For you guys, it's kind of interesting. For those of you that are new, that are first year, you're not having to deal with change. I mean, it's totally different, and you're not having to deal with changes with a lot of things that the veterans are used to doing. So, and we'll have to adapt to those changes.
What about adding for the shirts and everything else? Why don't you add the whistles and see if we can get the rest of the people can get a better discount?
The shirts, Marianne is already working on that. We do a bulk shirt order, and she's working on a bulk whistle order as well. Okay. She put that in the chat. I don't know if you saw that. We are going to explore the option of trying to do a bulk order of whistles to get a better price.
All right, thanks.
But again, I would not recommend at this point running out to buy one right now. I would wait a little bit, and let's see what the unit comes up with, and things like that.
Will do.
So.
And really quick, I can say that they are discouraging wearing the plain light blue surgical masks that are usually being handed out at small businesses or any business. But they're discouraging that. Obviously, if that's your only mask you have, then that's not going to stop you from working your match. But they're just encouraging people to wear a solid color. It's TBD whether there's going to be a color restriction on that right now. But they're just encouraging or discouraging those blue masks. And next, does everyone have books? Is there anyone who doesn't have their rule book or officials manual?
I don't, Dan Kenny.
Okay. Get in touch with Kathy Blaze.
I did. But I didn't get a response, but I was moving too. So
where do you live, Dan?
I just left Gura Hills. I'm in Westlake.
Okay. There's a slight possibility, if you can't get, I can get you a set of books. On Friday, I'm heading to Anaheim, so there's a slight possibility I might be able to drop you a set of books on the way down. I'm doing the same for the two for Wilcox, both of them. I'm dropping them books on Friday. Again, I don't think they're on here though. Okay. There was Karen had asked this, and a couple other people. If you miss a meeting, where do you get the video? That's Robert's division. He's been putting it on his YouTube channel. Is that correct, Robert? I meant to ask you, I could ask you this here. What about the possibility of setting up a YouTube channel just for the unit? Would that be something we could do?
That'd be really easy to do. And in fact, for setting up Venmo, Marianne even made a Channel Coast email account, so we can just link those two together. It'd be easy.
That'd be great. So then all the videos can be there. I want you to be in as many live meetings as possible, because it gives you that interaction. It gives us that opportunity to hear from things. If you have a question versus you watching the video and coming up with a question and us not being able to answer it right away. So I want you to try and make the live videos as much as possible. The recorded videos are there as a backup for those that have scheduling issues and can't make one of our meetings. Our meetings are always on Wednesday. I think you guys figured that out. We're trying to do for veteran officials or third year and above. We're trying, once we start, we're going every other week. With you guys, we got a couple of extra meetings sprinkled in there. So a couple times you're going to have 3 weeks in a row because of the new member. Oh, mask wise, that's what I was going to say. I picked up masks at Costco. They are called 32 degrees cool or 32 cool max, something like that. They're pretty comfortable. They look really good. And I was actually, depending on what they come up with, I did test out getting a whistle under there, and there was room to put a whistle under that mask and blow without having to make any modifications. But they come in solid colors. They come in all different ones. So I think that might end up being a good option as that.
Is there going to be any requirement to like the level of type of mask?
Well, that's what we're finding out. I think what Robert said was we want to discourage the surgical masks, the plastics or the paper disposable, I guess we call them, surgical masks, and move to a cloth style mask. But right now we don't have that information. And of course, any mask is going to be better and required than no mask at all. So if you forgot your mask and found you only have one particular type in your car, that's what you're going to go with.
Yeah. Well, I was just saying because like these ones, they're all black. If black ends up being something, I got them at Target and they were, I think, like 2 for $5, and they're very comfortable as well.
Yeah.
So
there
there's
are
options
lots
all
of
over.
options. We'll let you know on the color. I'm hoping that they might give us a choice of black or blue, or give us a little choice in doing what color rather than requiring us to do just one color. But we'll see. We'll have that information for you later. Anybody have questions about the study guide that you were having problems with? If anybody has any specific questions that they want answered that they don't understand that they've been doing, now would be a time that you could ask that. Okay. Also, as you're going through, if you come into a question you just don't understand it, give me a call, give Robert a call, give your mentor a call. And they can help you through with explaining any particular situations that you might come across in the study guide. What I am going to be doing, give me a couple days here, but I'm going to be sending an email out to you and your mentor simultaneously. I'll be sharing your information so that you each have each other's contact information. So I'll craft an email and send it to so that way you'll be able to then get in touch with your mentor and vice versa.
Jeff?
Yes.
I have a question regarding page 8, section 2, article 2. What's the difference between an intermission and a set interval?
Okay, an intermission is if the school has a contest, they want to do something in addition to just a regular 3-minute time period. So they can extend during the second and the third set. They can extend that intermission to 5 minutes so that they can do something. They can do announcements. They can do something that they want to do additionally. So sometimes it's contests. We haven't seen very many of those. So every once in a while you will get something where the school has a different plan they're doing. So does that answer your question?
Yes, and I had another one regarding page 9, section 3, article 3. It talks about loss of a rally point awarded each time a vacant position rotates to serve in the right back position.
Okay. What happens?
Yeah.
What happens there is if you have to continue the match with fewer than 6 players, you cannot start a match unless you have 6 players. If a player gets injured or disqualified, you may continue the match with fewer than 6 players. So if you have 5 players, every time that vacant position was supposed to be the server, it's going to be an automatic side out and a point to it's going to be a loss of rally and a point to the other team.
So the side out only happens if the vacancy is going to serve.
When the vacancy goes to serve, you get a loss of rally, yes. Only when they're in that position.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Anyone else? All right. I'm glad I was able to put a lot of names to faces. It's the first time I've seen probably the majority of our new officials, with maybe 1 or 2 exceptions. So I hope you're finding this platform usable and useful, because we're basically stuck with it for the remainder of the season. And again, my line is open. My email, my text, always available to you. You know, I am a teacher, so if you're calling during the day and I'm going to be with students, just leave a message and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. So, Robert, any closing words? Anyone else? Closing words?
Oh, I have another question.
Wait, go ahead. Okay, go. Lori, go ahead.
Okay. To the uniform, the navy pants, is there a certain type that people like to wear? I'm sure the men do something different than the women.
I may refer you a little bit to Marianne on that one, but polyester tends to be a better pant just because it holds its color. We've just noticed that when people start to wear cotton pants, like Dockers style, we'll call them, they usually start to fade, and they don't tend to look as good as more of a polyester sort of slacks.
Okay, thank you.
Jeff, I have a question actually for Lori.
Go ahead.
Are you still doing basketball this year, hon?
Yes, I officiate basketball for San Fernando plus other leagues.
Okay. All right, thank you.
I think for everybody, the reason that question's important, it deals with the insurance, because you all are insured. So if you do other sports, your cost of tuition or dues rather is less, because you don't have to double up the insurance. We pay for the unit will pay for insurance for you, liability insurance, which is very important for you to have.
Right. Well, I haven't heard anything in regards to upcoming basketball season, so I've heard nothing from my unit.
So do you know if you're going to be paying your NASO insurance through them, or do you want to pay it through the volleyball?
Can I get back to you?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
And Laura, the reason you might not hear anything from San Fernando for basketball is because you're in San Fernando, not Channel Coast. So.
Well, yeah, but you know, periodically we do get some correspondence, but I haven't heard anything regarding, you know, upcoming season, anything like that. Nothing at all. So I'm going to have to reach out to some of my fellow refs with the unit.
I see Dave Wilcox has joined us. Dave, we all shared at the beginning a little something about ourselves and our officiating history or experience. You want to tell us a little bit real quick?
Sure, yeah. So yeah, my name is Dave Wilcox. I have 7 kids. That's usually what people know me as, I'm the crazy guy that has all the kids. I have officiated high school basketball for 20 plus years, and then took time off. I was in the Channel Coast and did that as well as high school football. I didn't do that I only did that for, I think, 3 seasons. But as my kids got to be of age for me to be able to coach their sports, I took time off from officiating to coach their sports. So I've coached soccer, I've coached basketball, and now I'm actually looking to do this as something with one of my kids. My 19-year-old son, Caleb, will be also doing this with me. So that's a little bit about me. I'm relatively new to volleyball, but not new to the idea of, you know, professionalism and looking like I know what I need to do out on the court, and, you know, the importance of knowing the rules. And I do have a son that has gotten into volleyball, and I was there and observed him play, and just actually kind of fell in love with how much fun it was to watch volleyball. I didn't think it was going to be as much fun as it was. At some point in time, I would get back into probably officiating football and basketball, but not now. I'll just dabble into volleyball for now. So that's. I live in Santa Barbara. I run housing for UCSB. If you're familiar with Tropicana Student Living, that's a building that I manage. So, yep.
All right. Thanks, Dave. All right. Any other questions before we close?
I have one more thing for new officials. I have kind of a template email that has a link for everything that you'll need to order as far as shirts, pants, shoes, even socks. I hope you have socks. A belt, whistles, starter kits, flags, stuff that you'll be using long term, not just in a COVID year. But that email will also have e-whistles too, if that's what you need. So reach out to me, let me know what you need, and I'll send you the template email.
All right. And Peter, I saw Peter sent me a message. Peter, I only have 3 sets of books. So I know two are spoken for. And if I get one to Dan, that would be my 3rd. So get a hold of Kathy. She has extras, should have a few extras right now. So after you take care of your membership fees and whatnot, get a hold of Kathy and she'll work on getting you books. And everybody else besides Peter and Dan, everybody else has their books, correct? And Dave, besides Peter, Dan, and Dave.
Yes.
Okay, thank you all. Mentors, thank you guys thank you for putting in the time and effort. The mentors really are not getting anything out of this other than to help the unit and help the new officials. So we really appreciate your time that you're putting into this. So, all right. Thanks, guys. Our next meeting is in 2 weeks for new members. Will be our next meeting, 2 weeks from today.
Get started on your study guide if you can.
And yes, keep working on that study guide, and we will send out reminders about the meetings as well. So we're trying to keep this going of a Monday and a Wednesday afternoon reminder about upcoming meetings.
Oh, and your study guide, Jeff, it's 49 days from now is when it closes.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Mike.
And can you call me too when everything's done?
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh.
All right.
All right, guys. Thanks for closing. Bye.